We're all told that to get ahead, you've got to make noise, you've got to be seen, you've got to put yourself out there. But what if the real secret to getting everything you want is the exact opposite? What if it's all about getting quiet and doing the hard work on yourself first? Well, that is the powerful and kind of counterintuitive idea from the legend Jim Rohn that we're going to break down today. I mean, think about it for a second. The common advice is always network, announce your big plans, tell everyone what you're going to do. We're almost trained to look for applause before we've even started the race. But is that truly the path to real, lasting achievement? Well, this whole explainer is going to challenge that very idea. So check this out. This slide lays it out perfectly. The two roads you can take. Over on the left, you've got the path of noise, of talking a big game. Jim Rohn used to tell this story about a young guy who was so excited to tell everybody he was going to be a millionaire, but he wasn't actually doing any of the work. And then on the right, you have the Rohn way. Focus all that energy inward on your own growth, and then just let your results do all the talking for you. All right, so let's break this philosophy down, starting with the first and honestly the most important pillar, making that decision to focus inward on yourself. And this isn't about being selfish, not at all. It's about a huge shift in your mindset. It's about finally understanding that your own personal development is the single best investment you could ever possibly make. And this quote, this just nails it. The distinction he makes here is so important. Look, your job, it pays the bills, right? It gives you a living. But investing in yourself, in your mind, your skills, your character, that's what creates a fortune. It's the difference between just earning an income and actually building a life of incredible value. So you might be asking, okay, but what does work on yourself even mean? Well, Rohn breaks it down into these three really clear pillars. This isn't some vague, fuzzy concept. It's a concrete game plan you can start right now. Number 1, develop your mind. Number 2, sharpen your skills. And number 3, build an unshakable character. First up, your mind. Rowan had this brilliant analogy. He said, your mind is like a garden. If you don't intentionally plant seeds of knowledge and wisdom by reading, then weeds of doubt and ignorance will just take over. He was famous for saying, leaders are readers. It's so simple, right? The books you don't read can't help you. The ideas you never hear can't guide you. Next, your skills. And this one is just so direct and powerful. The world, the marketplace, it pays you for the value you bring. And value comes from skill. So it's a simple equation. If you want more than an average income, you have to become more than average at what you do. You've got to commit to becoming exceptional at your craft, and the rewards will absolutely follow. And finally, character. Oh, this is a big one. A crisis doesn't build your character, it just reveals it. Your character is forged in all those small daily choices you make when nobody's watching. The choice to be honest, to have integrity, to be dependable. That's the foundation that all real success is built on. Okay, let's move on to our second pillar. And this is where the philosophy gets really, really interesting. It's the idea of staying silent. Now, this doesn't mean doing nothing. It's about a strategic silence. It's the quiet, intense focus of somebody who is way too busy working on their dream to be talking about it all day long. And this right here is the core psychological truth behind the whole idea of staying silent. I mean, announcing your goals feels good, right? But that good feeling, well, it can actually be a trap that completely sabotages your progress before you've even taken the first step. And there's actually science behind this. It's called the dopamine trap. See, when you tell people your big plans, your brain releases dopamine, the exact same chemical it releases when you actually achieve the goal. It's like you're getting the reward without doing any of the work. And this little trick can fool your brain into thinking the job's already done, which just kills your motivation to see it through. So if you're not talking, what are you doing with all that silence? You're listening, you're observing, you're becoming a student of your world. Just think about it for a sec. The most successful people are always listening to the market, to their customers, to their own gut feelings. Silence creates the space you need to hear those little whispers of opportunity that everyone else drowns out with all their noise. So, what happens when you combine these two incredibly powerful pillars, this intense inward focus and this strategic silence? Well, you get what we can call the bamboo tree effect. And let me tell you, this is the incredible payoff for all that quiet, consistent effort. This is such a beautiful analogy for personal growth. So for years, 1, 2, 3, 4 years, you water the seed of a Chinese bamboo tree, and you see absolutely nothing happening on the surface. Nothing.
Imagine the patience and the faith that takes. Most people would just give up. But if you keep at it, in the 5th year, it just explodes, growing an unbelievable 90 feet in just 6 weeks.
And of course, the answer to that question is pretty obvious, right? The growth didn't happen in 6 weeks. It happened over 5 long years. See, all that time, a massive, strong root system was being built underground where no one could see it. And that's exactly how your life works. All that silent, daily work you do on yourself builds this unshakable foundation, and then one day, everyone's gonna look at you and wonder about your overnight success.
Okay, so this philosophy is super inspiring, but you're probably thinking, how do I actually apply this to my life? So let's get really practical and break it all down into a 5-step action plan that you can start using today.
The key here is to be intentional, right? So let's just walk through this. First, create an actual personal development plan. What books are you going to read this month? What skill will you master this year? Second, practice the art of strategic silence. Before you blurt out your goals, just ask yourself, am I looking for validation or am I looking for real input? Third, carve out time every single day for reflection, to think, to plan, to adjust. Fourth, curate your circle. You've got to surround yourself with people who lift you up. And fifth, learn to master your emotions. Discipline your disappointments and channel your energy productively. And finally, let's bring this all home, because the ultimate goal of focusing on yourself isn't just about what you get out of it. It's about how your growth influences every single person around you. This might be the most profound part of Rohn's whole philosophy. The most powerful way to inspire your kids or your team or your friends isn't through lectures or giving advice. It's by living a life that actually works, by becoming a living, breathing example of your own principles. Rohn used to tell this great story about a father who was worried his son wasn't reading. Instead of nagging him, Rohn just gave him some simple advice. Just let your son see you reading every day. A few months later, the son just picked up a book, all on his own. It's such a powerful reminder that a silent example is often way more persuasive than 1,000 words. So the takeaway here is you don't need to chase opportunities or shout for attention. The key is to just shift your focus. Instead of worrying about getting recognized, pour all of your energy into becoming the kind of person who is worthy of recognition. Create so much value, and opportunities won't just come to you, they will literally be drawn to you. And we'll end on this thought from Ralph Waldo Emerson, which just perfectly captures everything we've talked about. In the end, who you are, the character you've built, the skills you've mastered, the person you've become, that is your real message to the world. It speaks louder than anything you could ever say. So the question to leave you with is this: what is your life saying?